This program is proudly brought to you by Intuit, powering prosperity around the world. The future is now. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are already transforming our everyday lives. When Alexa or Siri answers your question, that's AI. Apps like Google Maps, Waze, and Uber depend on AI for directions and real-time traffic data. When Netflix knows exactly what you want to watch next, you guessed it, AI. Machine learning, a branch of artificial intelligence, uses large volumes of data and algorithms to mimic the way the human brain works. And deep learning, based on artificial neural networks, was largely created in Canada, making the country a major hub for science, research, and innovation. Over the next decade, AI will touch all parts of the global economy, adding as much as $16 trillion to global economic output. And with Canada at the center of the AI revolution, the possibilities are endless. On this episode of the AI Edge, we're going to talk about how artificial intelligence and machine learning are already impacting our everyday lives and why they're so important for Canada's economic growth. To kick things off, I'm joined by Claude, President and General Manager at IBM Canada, Sebastian, CEO of Pelmorex, and Grace Lee, Senior Vice President and Chief Analytics Officer at Scotiabank. Claude, I'd like to start with you. IBM is very well known around the world for its work in AI with IBM Watson. How are you using AI to improve the lives of everyday Canadians?
I have to answer this question by, thinking about the context that we're in right now with the pandemic and some of the challenges associated. So, best example I would use these days would be City of Markham, for example, is using artificial intelligence to answer questions from their citizens. Thousands and thousands of questions that are coming in related to COVID. We've actually used it internally at IBM for our own employees. Last but not least, AI allows us to help farmers increase their crop yields by managing, real insights from weather and soil data to, produce better, more food.
Well, the pandemic has definitely put a heavier reliance on technology. Grace, where do you see the biggest use cases for AI and machine learning in the future?
Oh, well, machine learning and AI are going to be so important to all the ways that we serve our customers. To Claude's point, in the pandemic, if you think about it, millions of our customers were experiencing financial distress and uncertainty all at the same time. And being able to serve them all and not have to make a trade off in quality and quantity to be able to serve all of them uniquely, personally, and with relevance to their specific scenario is something that we see as a great benefit both in the pandemic and outside of it.
Well, we hear a lot about the negative impact AI is having on the job market. So, when you think about job growth, Sam, is this one of the biggest areas for job creation, or is automation simply killing jobs?
We're a perfect example. So Pelmorex, we're the third largest weather player in the world. You know us by the Weather Network, Metro Media, and a few other weather brands around the world. And we continue to employ more and more AI and ML, and weather forecasting and the weather business is both art and science. So if we can use AI and ML to build up the science, we need the scientists, the meteorologists, the forecasters to provide the art that goes along with it. I think ultimately, though it may automate some things, it will probably create more job opportunities and economic growth for Canada and beyond.
Claude, do you expect this growth to have a big impact on economic growth in Canada?
Absolutely. And this is why, we need to double down as a country. It's going to change all the jobs. 90% of the jobs that we have today will get augmented. AI and ML actually empowers human to be more productive, to accomplish more complex tasks, to spend their time on where the human brain is actually, more useful.
Grace, how important is the actual advancement of artificial intelligence?
Oh, well, I couldn't agree more with my fellow panelists here. I think that artificial intelligence is so important to economic growth from a productivity standpoint, but also in kind of creating creative solutions that might solve different problems going forward. So, what artificial intelligence does is really shine a light on some of those underserved parts of our economy or our communities, releasing the power of AI. I truly believe that not only are we going to be able to create more jobs and opportunities for our citizens, but we also create huge amounts of economic growth.
Okay, Sam, looking ahead 10 years from now, how will artificial intelligence continue to change and improve the lives of Canadians?
Look at the last 15 months. I mean, look how the world has kept spinning, even during a global pandemic. And it was because we had the digitization, the digital transformation, leveraging AI and ML over the past couple of years that has allowed businesses, entrepreneurs to continue to build new businesses online. If that can happen in a period of 15 months and the world responds to a crisis like they have, leveraging technology, imagine what happens in 10 years from now. So I think it's a great wake up call. One of the silver linings of the pandemic is the ability to kind of keep going and maybe even go faster.
Thank you very much all for your time. That was Claude Guay, President and General Manager at IBM Canada, Sam Sebastian, CEO of Pelmorex, and Grace Lee, Senior Vice President and Chief Analytics Officer at Scotiabank. With great minds in Canada working on the latest in AI technology, global companies are taking notice. David Marquis, Country Manager for Canada at Intuit, says the financial software giant is putting a greater focus on Canada due to its AI know-how.
The expertise that Canada has in AI and machine learning is really important for the future. We're looking to invest more heavily in Canada, and in part due to this expertise in AI and machine learning.
He also says the company is using AI to help Canadians manage their finances in an easy and efficient way.
Intuit's using its products such as TurboTax, Mint, and QuickBooks to help improve the financial prosperity of all Canadians. And it's basically by solving some of their key financial problems. So access to financial products, addressing debt loads, and other issues for small businesses such as cash flow management. And we're using AI basically to help chart a course for what we hope to be the ability to put AI in the back pocket of all Canadians.
And when asked about what AI in Canada looks like in 10 years, he had a positive vision for the future.
I really think about what we all are trying to look for, which is health, wealth, and happiness. And when I think about AI machine learning, it really has the opportunity to impact each of those, whether it's through advances in medical technology or helping to find disease or new treatments for medical issues, whether it's to help drive our core economic progress and GDP from a wealth creation perspective, or ultimately any of the other kind of intersection points between tech and our legacy industries. It has the opportunity to touch all of these aspects for Canadians.
For more on how AI will benefit all Canadians, I'm joined by Jeff Puritt, President and CEO of TELUS International. Jeff, how is TELUS International using AI, and what kind of impact is it having on your customers and clients?
At TI, we're helping to drive scalable innovation across all industries by providing our clients with reliable, high-quality data that they need to create AI-powered products, services, and solutions. So we actually prepare the data that computers are using in order to identify patterns and inferences within that data set to build these machine learning models that are then used to improve search engine outcomes, to make bots more human-like in their ability to interact with human consumers. We're helping to train your refrigerator to tell you what's inside when you're ready to go shopping, and remotely, you don't have to go back home to try and check that because it's telling you what's in there and what needs to be replaced.
What is TELUS International's AI strategy going forward?
So we think the adoption of AI technologies is going to really proliferate, accelerate even more ubiquitously. I think today we hear AI really more in the domain of the 5 hyperscalers, the big social media platforms and techno-centric businesses. But it is really becoming more mainstream. Our strategy is to try and be helpful across the entire ecosystem, because it's our 1 million plus annotators that are working on exabytes of data every day to try and ensure that these systems that are leveraging that data in order to provide these predictive outcomes are doing so reliably, accurately, and perhaps most importantly, with as little bias as possible.
What about job growth? What kinds of opportunities is AI creating for your workforce?
We've already hired, just in 2021 alone, thousands, more than 2,000 folks working in our digital group. We want software engineers, we want IT professionals, we need linguists, we need folks capable of understanding the implications of this activity. And it's not just software programming, right? Even a teacher, even someone who speaks multiple languages, someone who has sort of an open mind and a willingness to learn and to read and to understand the implications of these broad applications is a pretty exciting field. And given that our footprint is in 26 countries now in terms of our 53,000 full-time employees, 6 continents with over 1 million annotators, I think there's employment opportunities with TELUS International pretty much anywhere and everywhere.
Thank you very much for your time, Jeff. That was Jeff Puritt, President and CEO of TELUS International. Well, that's it for our show. Be sure to join the AA conversation on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Tune in to our next episode when we discuss what Canada needs to do to maintain its pole position in artificial intelligence and machine learning. For more on the latest in business, technology, and innovation from around the world, log on to globalivemedia.com. Thanks for watching.